What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm back to bring you a little bit of my thoughts on what I want with the upcoming new releases that are going to focus on Slaanesh. So, GW has been, in my opinion, they've been putting off Slaanesh for so long. We've gotten updates on Korn like twice, and no stuff for Slaanesh. We've gotten the brand spanking new Thousand Suns. We got Zangors for Zeech. They did a huge bolster to the forces of Nurgle when they released the Primaris and the Death Guard in that box set, which was great for 8th edition. Don't get me wrong, but again, there's never any love for Slaanesh. And when you think of Slaanesh, what do you think of? Boobs, titties, boobs, titties. But it's more than that. Slaanesh represents perfection, the drive to become the best you can be. You're always striving to be more beautiful, the better swordsman. You're going through all these drugs and elixirs to make you become the best that you can be. And there's always a fight for making an elixir that brings you closer to ecstasy each and every time. And it's that pursuit of perfection, that allure, that seduction. That is what Slaanesh embodies. And I feel like they need to focus a little bit more on that instead of boobs and titties and, that kind of stuff. Because the direction that GW is going, I don't know, I feel like it's going a little bit more kid-friendly, as we've seen with the whole Warhammer Adventures stuff. And the switch to 8th edition, which I guess you could say dumbed down the rules, but it also made it a lot streamlined, a lot more easy to play, quicker to play, easier for anybody to jump into 40k and kind of learn the rules without constantly having to go back into this rulebook, that rulebook. Oh, is it in this codex? Is it in that codex? And so I feel like the new GW is doing great to try to make things go quicker, faster. But when it comes to Slaanesh, I feel like they've been putting that off for so long now that I'm not sure what direction they're going to go in. But if the direction that they do decide to move in is anything like the new models that they have been releasing for, I believe it's Age of Sigmar, which you could still use in 40k, but I think it's released under Age of Sigmar, I think they're in a great direction. The images you see here are the greater demon of Slaanesh, I believe, and it just looks really badass. The pinks, the purples, the whites, the creams, that color palette really is enticing, and it really fits in with Slaanesh. And I feel like if they continue to put out models with this type of aesthetic, with like the horse features, the claws, and that'll be alright. As you can see, nothing looks overtly sexual about this guy here, but you still know it's Slaanesh. With the demonettes, I feel like they need a little bit of a revamp, because they're supposed to be, seductive, alluring. When you look at a demonette, you see what your carnal heart desires. And these things look ugly. Which I think that's a symbolism there, where they're truly hideous, they're ugly beings, but you see what you want to see in them. And it's like, are you really seeing beauty, or is it just your darkness, your corrupted, twisted nature being projected out on them, and that's the true reality of what you're actually seeing? I don't know, I feel like demonettes need a little bit of revamping. The steeds? No. The fiends of Slaanesh, those guys look really badass, as you see here. I really like the model for that, so the mask has been redone. And there's also this guy here, which I don't care for at all. In my opinion, it just looks like a dude with a demonette on top of his head, and it's like, why? But hopefully GW decides to take a path that really embodies Slaanesh. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for having, 3 boobs on their models. But I feel like they're kind of gonna shy away from that path, because again, kids, the more general of an audience you appeal to, the more your models will sell, and thus the more revenue, the more money GW makes, and that's good for everybody. But at the same time, you kind of have to balance that out between what players want and what they're actually getting. But I feel like Slaanesh would be a good indication to see if GW kind of answers the call to appealing to everybody, aka, kind of toning down the sensualness of Slaanesh, but we'll have to wait and see, but I think they'll do good regardless. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. What do you want to see from these Slaaneshi models? But before that, I do want to talk about the huge elephant in the room, and that is Fulgrim. Fulgrim was always the pretty boy, I guess you can say. He was always striving for perfection, and that led him to Slaanesh. The story, the lore behind Fulgrim is kind of tragic. Fulgrim is one of my favorite Primarchs. He ended up killing his best friend. He got possessed by a demon. He was in a painting, and now he's a demon prince. So I can't wait to see Fulgrim's model, because it's gonna be like a serpentine, four-armed demon with wings, and whew. If it's anything like this model, which I believe is called Marathi from Age of Sigmar, I'm all for it. The model looks fantastic, and just the images of Fulgrim, the fan arts that we've seen of him in his demon form, look pretty appealing. And honestly, out of all the demon Primarchs that are going to be released, I mean, you got Magnus, you got Mortarion, and then if Fulgrim fits in there, I feel like he'll look different than the two, because when you look at them model-wise, yes, they're different, but Magnus and Fulgrim are basically the same thing. Humanoid with wings. When it comes to Fulgrim, you've got a serpentine demon, so the aesthetic will definitely look really good. But, like, come on, where's the love for the loyalists? We've only gotten Guilliman out of the Primarchs that was first released, and then it's been chaos, chaos, chaos. Show some balance here, GW. Bring the Lion back, if he is going to be a loyalist. Bring Leman Russ back. Because right now, the scales are heavily tipped in the chaos side. With the whole Vigilus campaign, yeah, I guess you can say that we got a new model for Calgar, but I never liked Calgar. Out of all the chapter masters, he's my least favorite. Sorry, Marnius Augustus Calgar. But he's not doing much to kind of tip the scales in favor for the Imperium, because again, it's just Guilliman going up against Magnus, Mortarion, and you've got Abaddon being released too. So if Chaos players really want to be that guy, they can put like 3 Primarchs or 2 Primarchs and Abaddon in a Chaos list. Yeah, it probably won't be competitive, but if you're playing like Apocalypse, those 3 guys are definitely going to be major threats, when on the flip side, you've just got Guilliman. I mean, yeah, I'm just saying that, like, kind of putting the lore into the game mechanics. But of course, there's ways around this. I'll just throw blobs of, like, guardsmen at them, keep them tied up in close combat. But, yeah, I mean, where's the leverage? But anyway, I've gone on a tangent. This is supposed to be about Slaanesh, so hopefully we get to see some really awesome Slaanesh sculpts coming out soon. Hopefully we get some lore behind Fulgrim, we get to see a sculpt, and I'm looking forward to see how the demonettes and all that kind of stuff kind of spurs out. So again, let me know your comments down below. Let me know if you still want some ass and titties on your demonettes, your greater demons, or if you want it to be more toned down. As always, guys, don't forget we do have a Patreon page. Simple $1 a month helps us brings you some more epic videos as well as giveaways. We do have a Facebook page. We tend to post there every now and then. You can see images of our armies, see new models that have been released by GW or Forge World for that matter, or anything gaming related. I know I've been really pumped for D&D lately, but Magic has just come out of nowhere, and their new set, War of the Spark or something like that, looks amazing. If you're into Magic the Gathering, check out the trailer for that. Whew, it'll give you chills. But anyway, This has been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.